On this edition of Oxford News This Week, it wasn't me speeding. What do I do next? A look through the lens with CJ Carnacchio, and in our last story, a change of serious life events that will impact a young man's life. That and more on this special edition of Oxford News This Week. Welcome back to Oxford News This Week. Maybe one time or another, most of us will get stopped, maybe thinking that we weren't speeding, and maybe you weren't speeding, but you may get stopped anyway. The occurrence happens daily. Police car gets behind you, puts on the lights, pulls you over, and you pull over and go through the process of talking to the officer, determining what has actually happened. According to local officers, there are some things motorists should be aware of that if this situation arises. Oxford Village Police Chief Mike Sowell offered steps after a face-to-face interaction if you're pulled over. When the officer approaches, he or she will request your driver's license, registration, and proof of insurance. Before reaching for those items, inform the officer where you'll be reaching to grab them. And if you do have a CPL, concealed pistol license, and have a weapon in the vehicle, please advise him do not reach for it. Keep it where it is. The officer should also tell the driver right away why they have been stopped. There should be no reason for the traffic stop to escalate into anything more than what it needs to be. Once the officer has informed the driver of the reason, then the driver shall produce the necessary credentials. Again, if you do not agree with the officer and want to argue the case, you can take it to court. Above and all else, a traffic stop and interaction with the police should be safe, comfortable, but if people do not feel comfortable with the situation that's happening, they are always free to call 911 and the sheriff or the police department, either way, will be dispatched out to where the incident is happening. The Girl Scout Troop number 44 were special guests at the Oxford Village Council March meeting. The girls did a great job. They started the meeting by doing the Pledge of Allegiance.
And we are going to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and we are going to have our local Girl Scout Troop 44 lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. So if everybody can stand, face the flag, whenever you're ready. Ready? Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Nicely done, ladies.
As spring approaches, the Oxford Village discussed moving forward with the crosswalk considerations with 2 estimates and 2 locations with West Burdick and West Pleasant, the Pontiac South of the Oxford Elementary School. And the Oxford Village manager, Joe Madura, said the cost will be included in the 2023-24 budget for the late summer construction.
And this is one of those older items we talked about. We were going to look perhaps to budget in the upcoming budget. I went through the Hudson Dennison project cost sheets and stuff in there and come out with broke out some numbers. Don and I and Chief and I we looked at where those locations would be, what kind of removal and replacement of sidewalks would have to be there. The part down there at 130 Pontiac, we'll have to remove probably 20 to 25 feet of sidewalk, lower it down, and then re-pour it. Because it's so close to the curb, it won't be ADA compliant if it left from there down the curb. So that's why there's a little more removal and replacement down that section.
An estimated cost to construct and install crosswalks, about $8,600. Council also heard from Detroit, the Department of Public Works Supervisor Don Brantley regarding the possible purchase of a used sewer jetting truck. Mr. Brantley reiterated that the council had been budgeting for years for a new truck, but recently were alerted of a good fit for the village. It was available in Wisconsin.
This particular street truck is coming through Bell Equipment, who we do business with right now with our street sweeper. We have for many years. They're out of Auburn Hills. He contacted me with this picture. I have not seen the truck. What you see is what I see. It's in Wisconsin. It's coming this way. They're going to do all the service on it, and they do have maintenance records. So we're just looking to get pre-approved for this dollar amount. So when the truck does come here and we do look at it, we are already approved to move forward. This is a single axle unit. Like I know the county or bigger cities use a tandem axle unit. Just the size of our community and trying to get around these streets, these single axles are a lot easier to maneuver, but they're very hard to come by. So when this came across my computer, I took it right to Manager Medor and said, all right, let's get this on the council.
Council members Maureen Helmuth asked Mr. Brantley what would happen to the old sewer truck.
Are we gonna be able to get rid of our old one?
We will. It does have some value. It's 1987,
Somebody's gonna want
but
it.
it does have some value. There hasn't been no negotiation on that. Same with like a warranty. We've not negotiated any type of warranty on this new vehicle. Like I said, what you see is what I know until the vehicle's still in Wisconsin.
The council recommended that the village manager to purchase the 2011 sewer jetting truck from Bell Equipment after verification that the unit met Mr. Brantley's approval of standards for a price not to exceed $200,000. An application was received and shared by the council for a profit turkey trot run on Thanksgiving morning this year. The village council heard from Aaron Palin, who is sponsoring the event and proposing a 5K and 10K route. It'll take place from Centennial Park West onto Dennison Street to West Street and then over to the Pollyant Trail and access to West Burdick.
So Thanksgiving morning is when it would be slated for, and parking would start around 6, and then the race itself would start at 8, and the 5K, 10K would go off at the same time, and that whole thing would take about 90 minutes to complete. I hope that we will see more non-runners come out, because I think that establishes a tradition and gets family behind it, people dress up. It tends to be a little more fun and a little less serious than a normal 5K, 10K where people are just out to race and get it done. So hopefully we have all kinds of runners and walkers and people that come out and join us.
Mr. Palin will mail notices to the residents of Dennison, West Street, informing them of the race participants running on their streets at certain times during that day on Thanksgiving, cautioning drivers and even people where to park and making them more aware of what was going on. More than setting your clock forward, the first day of spring is always a sign of glimmering hope. Mother Nature feels the same way. Happy season of renewal, rebirth, and officially it arrived at 5:24 the other day. Colorful flowers will soon burst forth in gardens. Baby animals will begin appearing in our lakes and our fields with marvelous and magical. It will be a magical season. Be sure to slow down, take some time to appreciate spring and what spring has to offer, as long as we have no more of that white powdery stuff. Always another sign that spring is around the corner, and one day everyone has the permission and embraces their Irish Celtic heritage. Again, it happened on St. Patrick's Day. Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling. Once again, the Oxford Tap brought the sweet sound of the bagpipers to downtown area of Oxford. On St. Patrick's Day, Kim Johnson, a.k.a. the Michigan bagpiper, entertained the crowd. Holiday revelers sipped their ale and dined on corned beef and cabbage. Kim has been playing the pipes for more than 40 years and sounds fantastic. Her presence certainly enhances the festive atmosphere. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you all, and again, Aaron Gobraw. Oxford is filled with historic architecture, buildings, barns, bridges, homes, churches, and statues, mausoleums as well. Just if you take a walk, you can see some of the history as it's right there in front of you. Feast your eyes on some of the heritage to be studied, cherished, and well preserved. CJ went out with a camera. We enjoy highlighting some of the very things that he took a picture of. There's way more out there to capture. The Merriam Building in downtown Oxford, which was erected in 1912. Also, the house on 22 Moyers was built around 1880. Erected in 1902, a building on 544 Lakeville Road. That was a chicken hatchery. And the Brick Barn Carriage House, located on the east side of Pontiac Road between West Drainer and Ralph Drive. The owners believe it was built sometime in the late 1800s to early 1900s. And then, of course, the Thomas United Methodist Church that was built in 1896. At the March 8th Oxford Township Board meeting, after a closed session discussing legal opinions, ordinances, and purchasing property and board etiquette and the procedure workshop, the Oxford Township Board got to business on the March 8th meeting. All trustees in tow: Jonathan Nold, Margaret Payne, Rod Charles, Catherine Colvin, as well as Supervisor Jack Curtis, also Curtis Wright, and Treasurer Joe Ferrari were in attendance. At that March 8th meeting, Oxford Township Board meeting, Oxford Assistant Fire Chief Randy Vesper, the new hire, was sworn in by Fire Chief Matt Majestic. In a new segment inspired by CJ Carnacchio, we call it Behind the Lens. He titles this Addicted to Sunrises. He said he was driving to work one morning, and he caught a glimpse of sun rising in the bell tower and the roof over the Emmanuel Congregational Church at the corner of Denison and Hovey. It was a perfect moment. He said he had to turn around and capture the image and share it. We share it here with you on this segment called Behind the Lens. If you have a picture or a snap, send it to us. You can send it to us at manager@occtv.org or oxfordcommunitytelevision.com. We'll maybe use your snap sometime. We've been using CJ's. Behind the Lens. Up next, Dave Kenny with Auto Talk and Science and the News. Stay there. You're watching Oxford News This Week on Oxford Community Television.
Welcome to this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and this story is taken from Automotive News. Dodge is again summoning a demon to push the boundaries of what a muscle car can do straight from the factory. The 2023 Challenger SRT Demon 170 unveiled March 20th in Las Vegas can get up to 1,025 horsepower when running on E85 fuel and 900 horsepower with E10 gasoline. The original 2018 Challenger SRT Demon, which was only produced for one model year, maxed out at 840 horsepower with additional direct connection performance parts and 100 plus high-octane fuel. The latest Demon is Dodge's 7th and final last call special edition model as the brand prepares to end production of the current Challenger and Charger at the end of the year. The edgy brand is looking to bring its attitude to electric vehicles. Dodge gave performance enthusiasts a preview of where it's heading last summer with the electric Charger Daytona SRT concept, a vehicle that brings a unique growl to the normally quiet world of EVs. Dodge's first electrified model, the Hornet RT plug-in hybrid, arrives in dealerships in late spring. The Challenger Demon 170 can jet from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 1.66 seconds. The blazing coupe runs the quarter mile in a National Hot Rod Association certified 8.91 seconds at 151.17 miles per hour. Dodge said reaching full performance at the drag strip results in the Demon 170 receiving an NHRA violation letter ban for running a sub-9 second quarter mile without a safety cage and a parachute. The primary engine power components, Dodge said, are upgraded. The Demon 170 is the quickest vehicle Dodge has produced. To celebrate the end of the Hemi muscle car era, we pulled off all the governors to reach a new level, a new benchmark of factory-crazy production car performance, Dodge CEO Tim Kuniskis said in a statement. In 2015, Dodge shocked the world with the 707 horsepower Hellcat. Then, in 2018, we did it with the 840 horsepower Demon, and now we are doing it again with the 1,025 horsepower Demon 170, the world's first sustainable energy 8-second factory production street legal muscle car. Consumers can view available dealer locations for the Demon 170 on the Dodge Horsepower Locator at dodgegarage.com. Ordering begins March 27th. Oops, that's today, and will close May 15th. The Demon 170 comes with a $96,666 sticker price or $98,261 with shipping. Dodge said the dealer orders at MSRP will receive priority scheduling. The original Demon had two different keys, a black one that limited power output and a red one that unlocked its potential. That changes with the Demon 170, which comes only with two red keys. Dodge said the horsepower levels are determined by the percentage of ethanol in the fuel. When high ethanol fuel content of more than 65% is detected, Dodge said a gas pump icon in the instrument cluster turns blue to inform drivers that the Demon's maximum 1,025 horsepower output can be unleashed. Demon 170 production starts this summer and will be limited to 3,300 units, Dodge said, with 3,000 for the US and 300 for Canada. Sorry, Canada. Final unit numbers will be based on production capacity. Well, that's it for this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Back with you, some sports here. A brief look at sports. Wildcat swimmer Olin Chardstrom took first place at the MHSAA Swimming Championship again this past weekend at the University, Calvin University. Chardstrom placed first in the 100 backstroke to claim a gold. He also broke the school record at 49.04, which was also automatic. All-American time, Wildcat Liam Pearson took home the bronze, taking third in the state and a score of 400.2. Preston Mueller took 16th in the place at the 100 butterfly with a time of 54.85. Mueller also recorded a 100 butterfly time of 53.77. Again, it was a great time in history for the Oxford boys swim team. The 200 medley relay team, Chardstrom, Chris Jasper, Mueller, and also Jacob Olheiser took 12th in the state with a time of 1:38.77. Oxford boys and swim team took 10th place in the division with a team score of 62. Again, congratulations to the swim and dive team up at the Oxford High School. It just gets stronger and stronger. Over 50 students from Oxford High School leadership classes attended the Leadership State Conference in Grand Rapids 2 weeks ago and left with multiple awards, according to Chloe Bachman, communication specialist for the school district. Of over 2,000 students from across the state attended the OHS and won the award for the excellence of 2023. The conference host school, Oxford High School sophomore Madeline Krozek, won the Unsung Hero Award, and the Unsung Hero Award is given to one person per high school. There are 74 students of all high school grades in the Oxford High School leadership class. According to the leadership teacher, Emma Gordon, these classes are about students becoming leaders for the school by taking charge, running assemblies, events, and even getting involved in inside and outside classroom activities. And as we approach the softball baseball season, if you are interested in sponsoring it, contact our office. Our office number is 248-628-9658. Ask for Terry Stiles or Jim Hughes, and we can put together a sponsorship package so you can sponsor baseball or even softball. Dave Kenny has one more segment. I'll close it all out next. You're watching Oxford News This Week.
Hey, this is former Detroit Lion Rob Rubick and former Lapeer, Michigan school teacher. You're currently watching OCTV, Oxford Community Television. Enjoy it.
Do you love local sports? Whether it's Oxford High School or Parks and Rec, you can buy copies of each game. To purchase your copy, call us at 248-628-9658 or give us an email at manager@occtv.org or talk to us at the next game. Hopefully we'll see you there.
Welcome to Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny, and this story is taken from New Scientist. Bird flu is infecting the brains of wild mammals such as foxes and raccoons and may be making them behave in unusual ways, according to a study in the U.S. Out of 57 live mammals found to be infected, 53 had neurological symptoms such as seizures, problems with balance, tremors, and a lack of fear of people. The risk to people, however, appears to be low. There isn't yet any evidence that red foxes or other wild mammals that have avian influenza could spread that infection to humans, says Betsy Elsmo at the University of Wisconsin in Madison. But this doesn't mean it cannot happen, Elsmo says. Humans should never interact with animals, particularly carnivores, that are behaving abnormally for multiple reasons, rabies, of course, being one. Her team has reported 67 wild mammals in the U.S. confirmed to be infected with H5N1 bird flu between April 1st and July 22nd of 2022. 50 red foxes, 6 striped skunks, 4 raccoons, 2 bobcats, 2 Virginia opossums, 1 coyote, 1 fisher, and 1 gray fox. 10 of these animals were found dead, but the rest were found ill and either taken to wildlife rehabilitation centers or collected by wildlife professionals. 2 of the foxes recovered, but the rest of the animals died or were euthanized. Postmortems revealed brain damage in 51 out of 54 brains examined, and the bird flu virus was detected in many samples of brain tissue. There have been previous reports of bird flu causing neurological symptoms in infected mammals. Elsmo thinks the relatively high number of brain infections found by her team isn't something specific to the virus strain that is currently circulating around the world, known as Clade 2.3.4.4b, but simply because this virus is so widespread. A March 13th report by the European Centre for Disease Prevention and Control, or the ECDC, lists numerous recent cases of bird flu spilling over to mammals, including marine animals such as seals and dolphins. Besides the U.S., cases have been detected in Canada, Japan, Peru, Chile, and many countries in Europe, including the UK. In other countries, the lack of cases may be due simply to a lack of testing. Elsmo notes that the mammal infections her team found are probably a very small proportion of actual cases in the U.S. She expects numbers to go up as more people become aware that odd behavior in mammals could be a sign of bird flu. The worry is that as more mammals become infected, the higher the odds of the virus acquiring mutations that will allow it to spread from mammal to mammal and thus potentially among humans. According to the ECDC report, mutations associated with genetic adaptation to mammals have recently been detected in some bird flu viruses. It also says that there may have been mammal-to-mammal transmission in harbor seals in the U.S. in 2022, in farmed mink in Spain in 2022, and in sea lions in Peru earlier this year. Neurological symptoms were seen in the mink and sea lions, the report says. Meanwhile, a lab study in ferrets by Debbie van Riel at the Erasmus University Medical Center in Rotterdam in the Netherlands has shown that H5N1 bird flu can infect the brain via nerves in the nose, even if there is no respiratory infection. I would advise people not to have contact with sick birds or animals, mammals, especially when they have respiratory or neurological signs, including unusual behavior, she says. The risk of transmission is low, but I would not take the risk and would report any sick or dead mammal to the appropriate agencies. Take note. Well, that's it for this edition of Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny.
Canine Stray Rescue does just that. Rescue stray dogs for new families. But they need your help. Become a volunteer at Canine Stray Rescue League of Michigan. Take dogs for walks, help them socialize with others, and help them get adopted. Fill out an application and help a family add a new member today.
Never say the word of positivity doesn't count for anything. In our last story, Oxford volunteer from working in the Oxford Community Garden at Seymour Lake Park, volunteering at his church at Woodside Bible on Sundays. Andrew Woods is just one of those people who has definitely changed his life, always looking for ways to serve others. He was born to DeGeorge syndrome, a condition that causes a variety of physical and developmental challenges. For example, prior to age 3, Andrew had to go through 3 surgeries to correct the cleft palate and repair holes in his esophagus and heart. Although Andrew was able to overcome his learning challenges and graduate from Bay City Central High School, he experienced some bullying and difficulty focusing on schoolwork, causing him to develop some bad habits, including overeating, smoking. Andrew struggled with his anxiety and depression as he smoked at least a half a pack of cigarettes a day. Again, he gained weight. At one point, he reached 346 pounds. Andrew admits he had stopped caring about life and didn't see any future in it for himself. But it all changed in January of 2022 when he and some family members were involved in a serious accident. Andrew sustained a severe concussion, broken multiple bones, and was in a coma for several days. Following the accident, Andrew decided to change his attitude, change his habits, and start building a new life centered around hope, faith, patience, and being helpful to others. He quit smoking, started exercising every day. Now he weighs 148 pounds. He even joined the walking club at the Oxford Senior Center. Andrew currently lives with his niece and nephew, Rob and Sarah Fitzpatrick, in the mother-in-law suite. They're developing valuable life skills. He's totally changed his life, and we congratulate him on the last story. We thank the news gathering source of the Oxford Leader, Oxford Township Facebook. A big thank you for CJ. We used a lot of your photos during this newscast. Darren Bolinsky of the Oxford Leader. OCTV can be viewed on Spectrum Charter, Channel 191, Channel 99 at the AT&T Uverse system, YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, and of course Roku. OCTV is also available for local groups for producing public service announcements. If you have a show idea, maybe you want to volunteer, give the office a call at 248-628-9658. Thanks to producer director Kyle Snage, videographer Al Campbell, editor Marissa, also program coordinator Dan Weiss, program director Connie Miller, station manager Terry Stiles. For everyone here at OCTV, I'm Jim Hughes, hoping you have a safe and pleasant week. I invite you back next time. And again, we will take a look at Oxford News this week.